Seatbelts on.
Racers, start your engines! On your mark, get set, go!
Come on, Umi Car! Let's race! Go, Umi Car!
Neighbors just 20 miles to the east or west, they got snow and you didn't get anything in terms of accumulation. The door's not shut yet. You'll probably end up with less than an inch. But once again, as these numbers continue to chill out, both the air and surface temperatures, you have the opportunity over the next hour to 2 hours to bring your snow totals up. Of course, they're going to be up as you look out to the east there, where you will likely climb over 5 inches as snow continues to fall in the area. We're tracking these hour by hour going through the next hour as well. So we'll have updates in your forecast as we continue to fine tune that 7-day that gives a promise of a warm up that you will definitely want after you deal with what tomorrow has to bring.
Yeah. Does it seem like, I guess then, Jonathan, that the weather event with the snowfall is hanging around longer than expected, or?
It started later, so
Yeah,
we
okay.
thought we would
Makes
be
sense.
bringing this to a close by 3-4 o'clock in the afternoon. And for some areas, especially as you look out to the west, I think you're all done with snowfall for the day. However, if you are out east, you're still not done yet. The snow machine is going to continue to pump. You're closer to the area of a low pressure that is providing all this moisture. Basically, the moisture is running to cold air inland, but it's being fed by water in the Atlantic. So it's pinwheeling around. So that's why it snows for a solid 20, 25 minutes, and then there's a lull and you may have to wait another hour, and then you have another little burst of snow coming through. It's all in motion around this area of low pressure. So the window of opportunity for anyone to get snow is not over yet, but it's starting to wind down. But if you are once again to the east of I-75, you got to be watchful both in terms of looking for snow, but very cautious as you get out on the roads.
Has this been exactly what you've been expecting and forecasting over the last few days, where it's kind of staying that line east, where we're seeing a lot more of that, the heavier impacts?
There was a couple communities in South Fulton and Douglas County going even down to Coweta and Paulding that they got some surprise snow this morning. But the forecast is lining up that we thought I-75 would be the proverbial dividing line for the have and the have-nots. And we can definitely tell that I-75 was that demarcation, and it will continue to be so throughout the afternoon. I can't say, slightly to the west of I-75 that you're not going to get something, but once again, the focus will continue to be to the east of the interstate with not really even DeKalb County taking the hit. It was Gwinnett County, the Metro County, and maybe even some parts of Forsyth, but Gwinnett County ended up being the area. Of course, we thought Hall and Clark counties would be part of this, and certainly all of those counties up to the north and to the east of those locations, but it ended up being, at the end of the day, it was Gwinnett County, especially to the north of Lawrenceville. They got hit hard with this storm, and we're seeing some really impressive amounts. And so, yes, the forecast is indeed lining up.
The second weekend in a row for Gwinnett, Jonathan, getting kind of the brunt of the storm. Did they really fully recover from last weekend as far as melting and getting some of the ice?
The atmospheric opportunities were definitely there. We've warmed up enough, although I don't think anybody has felt warmth to any degree across the area, but they were able to get rid of those conditions. A hard-hit white Habersham counties, they still had impacts as late as Friday, but they were likely antecedent impacts, meaning power outages and things like that. There weren't actually icy spots on the road before this next system moved in. However, people can't seem to catch their breath, especially if you're to the north and to the east of the Atlanta metro area. It's just kind of one system after another one. And if you get the right meteorologist to talk to you, they'll say that we're not done yet.
Oh. Is that hint? Mother Nature might have another.
There's an old song that used to be sang in the church, and it's a Lord, teach me to take it one day at a time. I do a 7-day forecast, and I stop it right there. Meteorologist Alex Forbes, he's a big long-term guy, and he'll show you things that will freak you out for the month of February. I'm just going to be honest.
Oh, boy. One day at a time, sweet Jesus. That's
all I'm asking of you. Yes.
And this is why we have the best Fox 5 Storm Team meteorologists in the business working here. Jonathan, Alex, David Chanley. You guys are going to stay on top of it and keep everyone updated throughout the storm and for the next one,
Thanks,
possibly.
Thanks, Jonathan. Wink, wink.
And we have been receiving a lot of new video and pictures coming into the Fox 5 newsroom from viewers like you.
Yeah, this is fun. Good Day's Paul Milliken has been combing through all those images.
I can't keep up.
Yeah, and it's a lot, right?
It's a lot.
How many are we up to?
Oh, I think we're over. Well, I'll check for sure, but we were hitting over 8,000 when I talked to you last time. Yeah, we're equaling what we got last week.
Yes, that's what we got in total last weekend.
Yeah.
County up here, Franklin County, you're likely going to have snow on the ground going into Monday, and maybe there's some more to come. So let's talk about what is to come. Well, you still have those winter weather alerts that are still alive and well. All counties shaded in pink here continue to be under the winter storm warning. If you are in lavender, you're under that winter weather advisory. Those will not retire o'clock tonight. So as we go forward, this is the picture at 2 o'clock. I want to follow where we're seeing the deeper shades here. I will say there is an opportunity for another swath of moisture to come through, impacting those of you who are to the east of 575 there. Okay, so let's kind of make this distinction. Cherokee County, mainly east of 575, going up to 400. So that puts Alpharetta, Milton in conversation, along with Forsyth County, Withrow coming in the mix. Getting down into Peachtree Corners, Norcross, and Duluth. That's for southern and central Gwinnett County. And even those of you who are just to the north of Spaghetti Junction here in DeKalb County, I'm not sure if Decatur is going to actually get something. So Redan, Lithonia, getting down into the Tri-Cities, I'm not sure if that's possible. But as we move further to the east here along the I-85 corridor, as you get out to Barrow County, going up into Walton County, I think the opportunity once again, you're going to get another healthy swath, and that comes through around 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Clark or Coney County is due for more of that action as well. Still not done by the 3 o'clock hour. Stick with us, and I'm going to walk you through the part of the forecast that takes you into the late afternoon and early day.
All right, Jonathan, we'll check back in with you. Thanks. Let's get up to Blairsville, one of the areas that Jonathan said is still enduring a lot of the snow that's moving through the area.
Let's check in now with Denise Dillon, who is all bundled up. Good to see you, Denise.
I need to be bundled up. 7 layers at this point, and there may be more before the end of the day. Here in Union County, they are telling people to stay home. Grab a book, sit on the couch, have some coffee, have some hot chocolate, but just stay home. And here's why. If you take a look, there is a good amount of snow on the ground that has fallen. And if you look at the roads over here, same amount of snow. We do see a couple of pickups going by. Oh, and a Jeep. That Jeep might be going. It's kind of nice, kind of pleasant. And then you get out of the car and you realize.
Not so much.
Yeah. One more layer.
Yeah, 7. That is someone who is prepared. Denise, thank you.
Denise, thanks. In Gwinnett County, Rob, you were trying to make your way out to Athens when you ran across that big accident, which looks like it cleared behind you, but conditions still look pretty bad out there.
Conditions are still pretty bad, guys. Good afternoon to you both. Lawrenceville Police just put out a statement a little while ago saying 316 in Lawrenceville has turned to ice. They say conditions will continue to deteriorate in Lawrenceville, and it is not worth the risk of injury or worse. And that's what we saw out here on this off-ramp here. This is Buford Drive a little while ago. We actually found out that it appeared that a Lawrenceville police cruiser was involved in that accident. It involved about 5 people or so, but I just want to show you down Lawrenceville Highway, you really can't see too much of it, or of 316 rather. There are still cars on the highway, but at this point it just seems to be getting worse and worse. The conditions are very slick, and then again, once a bunch of cars go over the snow, it kind of packs down and creates this very slippery effect. And then the other thing we're dealing with out here is the wind, and the wind chills have just been brutal. We've been seeing these signs here flail in the wind just within the last couple of minutes. They've kind of calmed down a little bit, but just goes to show how quickly the conditions deteriorated here in Gwinnett County. I don't know if we're going to be able to make it up to Athens at this point. It's just so cold, and these conditions just don't seem to be getting any better at this point. As you hear, people are still out on the roads. Now, we have seen several plows and salt trucks, both GDOT and Gwinnett County, so they are out here at this point, but the snow, as you can see, is still falling The wind is not making it any easier. And then, of course, there are a lot of other people that are still out on the roadways, not heeding the advice of emergency officials, of our meteorologists. So that creates a dangerous effect for the plows trying to do their work as well. The good news is we are starting to see some wet roadway, especially coming off of the off-ramp onto Buford Drive, but it remains to be seen what the rest of the afternoon looks like as this storm continues to move through this area. We're going to stay hunkered down, I think, for this point, just to be as safe as possible, but that's what things are looking like here on the ground in the Lawrenceville area. We're right up the road from High Hope Road, which is Gwinnett County Police Headquarters. I've been in touch with them. They've been working several calls. They've been busy throughout the day, so we're going to stay on top of this, guys, but really at this point, especially if you're in this area, it's best to just stay off the roads.
Yeah, it looks really slippery out there, and people don't seem to be heeding that warning because they're zipping right by you, behind you, Rob. Wondering if just through your observations, watching the cars go by, I mean, just how slippery is it out there on the roadways in Gwinnett?
Well, if we could swing the camera around, we're safely parked off to the side here. I just want to show you the conditions here on the ground. Like Tara was saying, it's pretty powdery stuff, but once it gets packed down several times, it creates this really slick effect. And then on top of all of that, like I was saying, it is so cold out here. It's colder than last week's ice storm. It's around 21 degrees according to my car thermometer. So once you get even a little bit of water on the roads, there's that risk of it refreezing and just creating this cycle of slippery conditions. So I'd say, you know, it's not exactly ice, but the powder, again, packed down, a bunch of cars going over it, or even if it's untraveled, can create some really slick conditions.
That's going to be really interesting to see as the temperatures fall tonight down into the teens and 20s perhaps, how that precipitation sort of settles on the roadway, and then what conditions will be like tomorrow morning unless they can get that stuff off the roads.
Yeah, and I should point out it's snowing sideways at this point too, so something else we have to take into account is snow drifts. You imagine if this wind pushes this snow around, there could be, you know, an accumulation of a foot in some spots if it gets pushed in a certain direction. So that's another thing that crews will have to keep an eye out for, especially over the night, is the snow is falling, the wind is pushing it, and then that could create some piles of snow, creating some even more dangerous conditions out here.
Yeah, snow drift. That's spoken like someone who has lived in the north before. Rob DiRienzo flexing his New Jersey experience for us. We appreciate the expertise there.
You know, I went to school in Massachusetts. We used to have, you know, mountainous snow drifts in the parking lots. And it took until March or April for those things to melt away. And they got all dirty and gross and disgusting.
Yeah. Gosh, hopefully we don't have to experience anything like that. But I do want to give you guys a heads up that where Annie Mapp is, it's also a winter wonderland. So let's go ahead and check in with her.
Yeah, Annie, you're in Buford. How's it looking out there?
Oh, a new accessory.
It's still coming down. I know. I found a scarf that I had from last week, and I don't know why it seems so easy on TV to make a snowman, but I'm trying. It's so hard to form a ball. Look, this is kind of like a cone, I guess you would say. I don't know. Hopefully it gets better. But it's still coming down. We're still seeing people surprisingly on the roads. If you'll take a look, there is a truck just coming down. You see all of that white. We're not really seeing these.
I'm sorry, but
I think I have it on backwards.
I think Annie wins the prize of like the warmest coat, though. I love the fur wrapped around your head. That's perfect.
All right, Annie.
Annie, thanks.
I have on a thick boot. This is cold.
Thank you.
Still coming.